All right, guys, we've moved on to two-step inequalities from one-step inequalities yesterday and the day before. And all we are doing is combining what we did yesterday and the day before together. These are, again, a lot like two-step equations, except you will have multiple answers instead of just one, and you have to graph it. So we're going to use the same turnaround rules that we did. We're going to use the same method of graphing. Nothing's going to change. All right, so let's see here. Again, the turnaround rules are if x is on the right, you need to turn the whole thing around. If the coefficient is negative, you flip the sign, okay? I didn't write that. I guess I could add that. So I'll put sign here, and then all. The whole thing, all of it. Okay. All right. The first one is 2x minus 3 is less than 3. So we need to go about solving that. So first thing we do, like a two-step equation, is we want to get rid of the number that is not attached to x, and that is minus 3 or negative 3. It's minus 3 or negative 3, so you want to add 3 to both sides. Plus 3. Plus 3, and so we then end up with 2x, that cancels, is less than 6, divide through by 2, x is less than 3. To graph that, I'll just put a 3 here, 3, 4, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I make my number lines to suit the needs of the problem. If my answer is 3, I'm not going to make a number line 0 to 20 or negative 2 to 4. Like that just doesn't really make sense, okay? So, and now to graph it, if you recall, it is greater than or less than, so that's an open circle, right? So I'm going to put an open circle, that means it's not included. So it means if x is less than 3, that means it's all numbers less than 3. The x3 is not one of them, basically. So I put an open circle, I make my arrow, it goes this way. It goes to the left. I forgot my directions for a second. All right, next one. Number 2, I see that I have this minus attached to my x term. That means my coefficient's negative. That means that in a minute I'm going to flip my sign. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start solving it. I've got this positive 4 here. Remember, this is not, 4 is not negative, it's positive 4, so I need to subtract 4 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 4 here, subtract 4 here, and then I end up with, remember, this whole thing, this minus doesn't go anywhere, is going to be negative 9x is going to be greater than or equal to 22 minus 4 is 18. Last step, it's negative 9 times x, so that means I need to divide both sides by negative 9. And I'm dividing by a negative, my coefficient's negative, that means my answer, I need to flip my sign to the other side. Okay, I went from this to this. And so then x is less than or equal to now negative 2, because 18 divided by negative 9 is negative 2. Circle that, I want to graph it. Okay, I've got, let's see here, I'll do negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Again, it's pointing this way. If I make an arrow pointing to the left, it's a closed circle because the closed circle means that x is less than or equal to, means it can equal this. So it includes negative 2. It's going to go over here, okay? All right, this one. This is another turnaround rule, okay? So if you notice, I have, this is negative 21. That's okay. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make us turn it around. It's this side of, right, oops, that didn't right. This right here that matters, the coefficient, okay? That's what needs to be negative or positive, and that's what determines if we flip the sign or not. But we do have to still turn it around because the x is on the right side and not the left side. So we need to turn the whole thing around. So you notice that my mouth is facing this. Well, it needs to face this over here too. So I'll have then, draw a line, 5x minus 1 is greater than negative 21. Now I can go about solving it, okay? I'll switch colors. Running out. Okay. So it's 5x minus 1. I'm now going to add 1 to both sides. I almost said 5. So plus 1, that cancels. Negative 21 plus 1 is then negative 20, right? You're adding a positive 1. And that is going to be 5x is greater than negative 20. Now that's all of the flipping I need to do, right? Because that the coefficient's positive. So let me go ahead and divide by 5. And x then is greater than negative 4. To graph that, just put, oops, didn't turn out right. Negative 4 will be here. I'll go up to negative 3 and down to negative 5. Just to have a few numbers there. And it's greater than or less than, that means it is an open circle. It does not include this value at negative 4. I make my arrow pointing to the right, and I shade that way. Okay. Now let's do one. Let's do one more where you have 2 turnaround rules. Okay. So I erase this up here. Okay. I'll go a little bit further down. So say I have, this will be number 4. Okay, let's do 18 is greater than, let's say, negative 2x minus 2, okay? So here, I know I have to turn it around twice because I've got a negative coefficient and the x term is also on the right side. It needs to be on the left side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the whole thing around. I'm going to move this over here, okay? So, again, 18 is bigger, it's facing this way, so what it's going to look like is this. It will be negative 2x minus 2, and then it's facing this way, right? It flips, is less than 18. Or you read it as 18 is greater than this. It's the same thing, okay? Now, we can go about solving it. So the first thing I need to do is it's negative 2x minus 2. I need to add 2 to both sides. And I have negative 2x is less than 20. Now here's my second turnaround rule, all right? Because we're dividing by negative 2, the coefficient is negative, I need to flip the sign in my final answer, okay? So I divide by negative 2. Okay. Then I'm going to have x is, now I'm going to flip it, greater than, not less than, x is greater than, flip from this to this. X is greater than negative 10. And again, to make my number line, I'm going to make a number line that makes sense for this problem, right? So I'll draw a few numbers. I'll put negative 10 in the middle. And I'll do negative 9, negative 8 over here, negative 11, negative 12. And it is going to be an open circle at negative 10. It's not included. And I'm going to shade to the right because I make my little arrow and it goes that way. Okay, that's it. Write this down, take notes, and you can start your assignment.